So second opinion, how did I identify that? So all of our providers were at least 3 hours out of town. Um, and we started with neurology, then moved over to developmental pediatrics. So first we went to CHOP, didn't get anywhere from there. That's in Philadelphia, and then Montefiore, where we met our first geneticist. And he was a great guy, but he had no idea where to send us. Where whole exome sequencing was not out yet, so he wasn't sure what to test for. And so the one thing that all the providers we saw took aid into kept saying was hypotonia, which is a clinical term for low muscle tone. So I did some research and I found what was then the Center for Hypotonia at Johns Hopkins. And then I was nervous about connecting with them just because I had been, it'd been a long journey. But then that very first phone call with that genetic counselor, her name is Emily Lisi. She's at Wake Forest now, and I recently reconnected with her. She just made all the difference in the world. When I talked to her, she was asking me questions about eating instead of me always providing the information. So she asked me about, oh, he has, hypermobile joints and, low muscle tone. What else can you tell me? Does he have a large head or, thick, thin skin? All kinds of things she was asking me. And then, with my answer, she said we need to see him at Johns Hopkins. And so we went down, and she's the one who ordered the echocardiogram for him, which I always attribute to her saving his life because it's very uncommon for a 7-year-old to develop an aortic aneurysm. But she did, and we found it out, and he's now 18 and thriving with all that guidance. But it was how I just kept going. I kept finding things, listening to what doctors were telling me. And with that, it was hypotonia. That clinic no longer is there, but Johns Hopkins is still a great clinic. I think the thing you can do these days is just take those symptoms, keep trying, ask around, check out your regional genetic collaboratives to find out information about clinics. Lisa does a really good job. She put together a really extensive list of clinics that we have that you can visit, talk to other parents, see what they might have. Facebook is a wonderful tool these days with connecting with people. But does that answer your question, Luba? I should say, we're kids are getting older and they're not going to want to maybe stay on the East Coast, so we're going to have to find a third of, transfer their care somewhere else depending on where life takes them. So transition is an interesting part of life when you're going from pediatric to adult services and trying to figure that out based on, your child's desires and what their adult life is going to look like.
I think the issue of getting another opinion can be challenging. As you indicated, people can sort of give up after one consultation. Mm-hmm. And one could contact NIMAC and ask for a reference for somebody in the state. So I'm glad. I think we're glad we can't give a specific recommendation, but we can let somebody know who are, where the major clinical centers are.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And NIMAC wasn't around when I was doing this. Either was Facebook. I didn't have a whole lot of options. I just kept pounding the internet looking for things. But yes, NIMAC is a wonderful tool. But like I said, talk to other parents, call your, those, I used to be the family project director here in New York State. Call your family to family health information centers, ask them, who might be, somebody that you, could see. They might have recommendations for you. They may even have parents for you to talk to who have children who are similar to yours. If you give them an explanation of what you're looking for, they may be able to match you up with a parent who has a child who has similar issues or concerns, and they may be able to connect you that way. So I totally forgot about it. It's been a while. It's been a month and a half since I left my job, but I was a family-to-family healthcare health information center director, and I strongly suggest you connect with those in your state. You can go to if you go to the Family Voices website, you can connect there with those.